I'm being 100% dead honest. I am not buying a single thing today. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Wolfpack. Nice beautiful sunset today, so I figured it'd be fun to hang out in our empty guest room. And there's also a lot of echo downstairs I've noticed recently from our recent vlogs. So that's why I wanted to change spots. But today I was inspired from my last gameplay session of Vantage, a solo gameplay, which I will link somewhere up here that you can see if you want to check that out. But in that session, I was like, you know what? I actually don't have a full-on dice tower. Like, yeah, obviously the Sunny Geeks one is super nice and everything, but I'm looking for one that's like extravagant, some kind of giant castle and it has smoke coming out of it or something. I don't know, something just absolutely different and mind-blowing. I just want to put something on the table and then my friends immediately freak out and then ask, what the heck is this? I want to use it, and which game are we playing that involves dice? That's it. I want something extravagant, crazy, out of this world, different. Not just a rectangular box. And before some of you are like, Tim, just make your own. Just 3D print it. First off, I don't have a 3D printer. Second off, I don't want to create anything else. I don't want to create or build. I already do that on a daily basis for work, for play, and for hobby. So I'm not here trying to create anything. I'm trying to just buy something that's just already made. Zero work involved. It is what it is. I barely have the patience to put together a wooden insert. So no, I'm not going to create a dice tower. But thank you though. And I'm 1000% sure you will make something else cooler than me. Other than that, let's go window shopping, as Bonds would say. Oh, this first one is really cool. Etsy is like the go-to place when it comes to customized stuff in general. But here's the thing, with 3D printing, I know a lot of you were asking before, like, oh, what do you mean by the lines that you can see in 3D printing? Well, if I can somehow zoom in and pull this up, okay, you can kind of see it. This one actually is done really well to the point where you can't see it from too far away. But the reason why I don't like 3D printing material, which is like that PLA filament, is because you can see all of those individual layers. And the material to me, when you roll dice, is not as satisfying as it would be for wood or metal, brass, or resin even. Like any other material besides PLA usually sounds a lot more satisfying to me. For some reason, PLA just sounds very hollow. I don't know how best to describe it. It just feels very lifeless when I roll dice in 3D printed towers. But the thing is, 3D printed dice towers always end up having the most intricate designs. And I get it, because who can sculpt this by hand? And if they can, it's gonna be thousands of dollars if they can do stuff like this. So I get it, but I just wish it was made out of a different material, or if somehow 3D printing can just get rid of all those weird little individual layers. I just don't like it. The look of it just screams, I was 3D printed. And for me, I'm not a fan. So as cool as this one is, I just love the overall idea and the premise of it. And there's even a hole in the back where you just drop it in and it just looks like a fun little Hogwarts tower. I think Fate's End has a lot of 3D printed files, so it makes sense. Okay, next one I saw, this is pretty awesome. This is the old school Dice Dragon's Fury dice tower in green, because I think there's also a red one. Now this looks fun. See, the material is not 3D printed. It's the same, I don't know if it's like plastic or something, but it's the same material that would be used if you're familiar with Dwarven Forge. It's almost that bouncy-ish texture, but I think this one's a little too small for me. Like, I would be open to seeing the dice rolling around a spiral staircase and transparent and watching it roll. There's something extremely satisfying about watching dice just roll down a little staircase or just collapse together, click, 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 all the way down, and that's so satisfying. But if it doesn't have that, I think I want like a longer trail other than just it goes straight through the dragon's mouth into a holder, which seems to be able to hold only about 3 dice. So pretty cool overall. I like the concept. I just want something more extravagant than that. However, 55 bucks is pretty good for the dice tower. Okay. Now, this right here is definitely one that I can see myself getting. $63.97, which is right around the price range I'm looking at. So that's really nice. And you can even see the details of the wizard's face, which is nice because I thought it was just going to be a motionless face without any kind of sculpting or anything. But it's cool that the wizard is actually on the dice tower and it's painted. And it's really nice too. This doesn't look like it's 3D printed. Again, it looks like that same material that Dwarven Forge uses. So yeah, someone correct me if you know what that is. But man, this looks fun, and it can fit way more dice. I think it could fit about 1, 2. I would say this fits about 10 dice, and if the miniature is removable, then it could fit even more. But I actually like the wizard there, so I would keep it there if it's stuck there. And if it, as long as it rolls 6 dice, like, you're pretty much good. Like most games will use at max around 6 to 8. So that's cool. I love also the red painted rooftops and everything, and the hole for the dice makes it easy. You could just drop it in instead of having a little small hole like on the backside or anything. I love it when dice towers are from the top because it makes it practical to roll. So this is very promising. I think this is up there for top of the list in terms of price point and the paint work and also the overall design. Oh, and there's also an LED too. How cool. LED with 2 AA batteries. I don't know if I would call acrylic premium. Oh, that's satisfying. Okay, that's a pretty cool concept where the dice are bouncing back and forth. I would be staring at that all the time. But sadly, I was looking at the reviews and one person said that it is a mission to build. See, one of the reviews though says too inconsistent to realize its value. That kind of sucks. Next one says tricky to build. Want to go insane? Try building this. Okay, well, that has sold me out of that dice tower. Moving on. This one almost looks like a tower straight out of Lord of the Rings. Almost looks like the 2 towers. I kind of don't like how it spreads out like that though, because you drop it from the top apparently, and then all the dice kind of just go everywhere. It would have been nice if there was a container that holds all of them. And you can definitely see all of the 3D printed layers here. So I'm gonna have to pass on this one. Okay, this is kind of what I've been looking for, but this is a wild price point. This is $250. However, you see the difference here? This is wild. So there's all different kind of color options, and I think this is resin. Jormungandurs. I've definitely heard this name before in fantasy games. But it is made out of resin, hand painted in Germany, 20 business days to assemble. Okay, the price makes sense for what it is. This is not 3D printed. And the colors here are so, okay, this is probably the most luxurious dice tower I've ever seen. The point of a dice tower is it randomizes the dice and has different levels to it. But this one kind of just drops straight down and it doesn't really hit anything. It kind of hits just one part at the very corner of like the dragon's belly. And then it lands where the dragon's tail is, that kind of warps around. I like everything about this sculpture, aside from the fact that it doesn't really randomize the dice. So, cool concept, beautiful colors, almost exactly what I'm looking for, but it's like almost there. This is the closest to what I'm definitely looking for. It doesn't have to be a dragon, it could be anything, just something with this type of design that's luxurious and wild and extravagant. Oh, this one looks really fun too. This is very simple. I like the brass/bronze look, but I definitely think, you see how the archways in the door here? You see how you can visualize all of those individual strands of PLA figment? That is what I mean by the 3D printing that I don't personally like. So, cool concept, and they did it really well compared to others, hiding the whole 3D concept feel of this, but yeah, gonna have to pass. And, oh, this looks fun, check this out. An Old West Ghost Town Dice Tower from Fate's End by Kimbolt Creations. Okay, so Fate's End was the 3D printed. Okay, so this is 3D printed, but we offer this dice tower in a variety of color options, including both stained wood and unfinished wood fill. So it's still PLA figment, so it's still PLA, but I think the paint definitely masks this a lot, because if I were to look right away, I would not be able to tell this is 3D printed. Just from that, like I would say Sundrop. Sundrop is the best word I know for this, that it looks like that, where you see a lot of the shadows and the details in the fine grains of the wood. This looks fun. I really like this one. I wouldn't mind a whole Western theme one. I just think actually it's kind of funny too if you use an Old West Ghost Dice Town to play space games like Andromeda's Edge and Arcs or something. Just throw dice in there. Wild Wild West in space. Style, you can choose any color. I would definitely choose something that hides and masks a lot of the PLA figment. So anything that's like blue or whatever, I think that would scream that it is 3D printed. I would probably do an unstained wood, and then size, there are multiple sizes, a miniature, full size, and a dice with the full size. So I would probably just choose the full size. So 50 bucks, that's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one second. I might go with that one. So let's keep that tab up there. Another Etsy seller here. This is also, actually it's also from the Bear and Wolf Studio. They make some really, really cool things here that does not look 3D printed, even though it is. Look at this one. So I think, again, another Fate's End one. And it's a full-on dragon wrapped around a castle. Now, where do you put in the dice? Looks like the dice go in. Okay, see, like this. Cool concept, but then it's kind of weird because then you gotta like put the dice in a row. If you're rolling 6 dice and you're gonna put them tiny and you gotta like slide it in. So it's a little awkward to put in the dice somewhere like that, but I love the look of this one overall. The design of this, beautiful. Practicality, not so much. Oh, okay, so Bear and Wolf Studio is an officially licensed seller of Fate's End dice towers. Okay, yeah, the designs for Fate's End stuff, they make a lot of cool things. I think I kind of want to save this one too. Look at this giant fairy tale castle that we saw earlier. Even more dragons, a 5-headed queen dragon. There's a lighthouse dice tower, a fairy dice tower. Oh yeah, I think the almost wooden look to this dice tower makes me want to get this one. I kind of even want, oh, what's this? A merchant wagon dice tower. Oh, I love this one. This is fun. Look at this. Yeah, so if it's not painted in that wood look, it really shows, but with that wooden look, oh man, that looks really, really fun. I like this one. This one reminds me a lot of Howl's Moving Castle. Another potential good one. And also for around 50 bucks too, so that price point's not too bad. All right, let's look at a couple more. This next one is the Sorcerer Dice Tower, full on gold. So another $122. $122, and it's made out of PLA. And yeah, so again, the slots, you can only put in 1 die at a time. Still cool concept though, but that's pretty pricey for 3D printing. This dice tower is made by Just 8 Little. There's even a little spot to put in more dice on the side. That's cool. Drop your dice from the top and watch them roll down, fitted with LED light. There's even a little tiny window in this tree trunk so you can see the dice coming in. This is for $98 and it is handmade from wood, leather, paper, and organic material. Wow. Okay, overall, if I had to narrow it down, I think I'm in between 2 of them. Definitely in between the Red Wizards dice tower. I also realized that there's a blue one too, but I think I'll go with the red one. Okay, it's between 2 sellers, how about that? And the other 2 that I'm thinking about is the Old West Ghost Town dice tower, even though it's 3D printed, and the Merchant Wagon dice. It's also same seller by Kimball Creations. Oh, that's a hard choice. I think for now, if I had to pick one, yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna commit to one. I'm probably gonna lean towards that Old West Ghost dice tower. Would be fun for Bantam West. And the Merchant one would just be fun for any game overall. Okay, I'm not gonna commit yet. I'm actually gonna let you all decide. So in the comments below, if you made it to the very, very end of the video, go ahead and put your vote down for the Red Wizard dice tower, or the Old West Ghost Town, or the Merchant Wagon dice tower. Tell me which dice tower you think I should get, and it probably will end up in many of our videos going forward, especially ones that use dice. Probably ones that are involving solo play for sure. Thank you all so much for joining me in today's window shopping, like actually. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you all think and see which dice tower will make it onto the channel. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.